poor game for Partey. Did you think Thomas Partey had another poor game for Arsenal today?
I was just going to bring into this. Like, I think this season, right? I don't think he's been the same, to be honest. Like, I just felt that he's a little bit rusty, and I felt like, finishing the transfer window like yesterday, I was disappointed. Like, if I came in the call-in show yesterday, man, I would have lost it. But I kind of like said it, kind of kept it for this stream to just calm down. But I just feel like, he feels a bit rash, or he feels a bit like, immobile. Like, I don't know about Partey this season. Like, yeah, he's not the same player, to be honest. But it's one of those things where, like, I don't know, it needs to take time, to be honest. But is a place where I feel like, in the midfield areas, like, especially when Marino's short, injured for like 6 to 8 weeks, Rice is now suspended. Who else? Could we get like someone in on a free? Could he suggest Rabiot on a free, even though I don't rate him? On a free transfer on a short-term deal?
Why do you want to sign someone you don't rate?
I mean, to be fair, bodies. I don't. It's not like I don't rate him. It's just like, you know what? It's just something. It's just a body to fill in the
I
gaps.
hear you. Well, I always view it. If there's any players available for free you don't rate, I'd rather give an academy player a chance personally, because at least they've got an opportunity. Matt here says, Declan Rice was poor today. He's a leader and completely lost his head today. Poor tackles. Chris Kavanagh just wanted to change the game. In the first half, he was doing everything to give Brighton the advantage. I actually didn't think the yellow cards in the first half Arsenal got were wrong. For instance, I don't think Partey was given a yellow card for even the pull. I think Partey got the yellow card because the TV camera showed it. He said 3 times to the ref, fuck off, that's fucking bullshit, fuck off. I think that's what he got booked for, personally. But yeah, I get you on the second part of that.
Terry, you in the Rice situation.
Sorry, let me try and get through some more of these super chats, because honestly, otherwise we'll be here until the next Arsenal game. Because the football test community is so amazing like that. Don't care if Rice's red was correct or not. You're on a yellow. You don't risk the antics like that. Said it at the start. If we drop points to non-top 6 clubs, we are not winning the league. Crap window 2. Robert here says, without the red, Arsenal would have won the game with a clean sheet. Also, Gabby needs to work on better positioning. It's cool. Let's just regroup for the North London derby. Yeah, I thought that the way the centre-backs were split for that goal was poor as well. I agree. Totally agree with you on the card. Furthermore, had the ref not given the card, would anyone have taken issue? Like tackles go without cards in every match. Yeah, if Declan Rice doesn't get a yellow card there, no one's talking about it. If he'd have booted the ball away like 50 yards, then 100% they'd be talking. But yeah, no one would have said a word. I absolutely agree with you. The funny thing is, if Rice wasn't kicked and the Brighton player had just retrieved the ball, there might not have been a card shown. That's also true. That's so true. That is so true. Terry, Rice acted like he was the iceberg being hit by the Titanic. It was like Gal rolling on the floor when he sees Arsenal's Europe trophies. I quite get the last bit. Okay. We played poor overall, in my opinion. Yes, it was a soft red, but Rice should have known better, especially with the North London derby next week. Still the worst ref in the game. Mo, as an outsider looking in, do you think Arsenal were poor overall today?
Yes. I think Arsenal was slow in the first half. They didn't create enough chances. And I think it's wrong that they caved after going down to 10 men. I know they created a couple of chances. Kai Havertz squared the ball to Bukayo Saka. But I think at home, even against Brighton, I thought Arsenal would have taken more risks, to be honest. I thought Arsenal should have taken more risks into this game, a little bit, have more control. They completely surrendered the ball to Brighton, which is something I disagree with if you want to call yourself a title contender, because Brighton at the end, you aren't playing Man City. I've seen it from Liverpool. I've seen it from Manchester City. Even when they go down to 10 men, they try to control the game. Arteta chose to completely surrender the control of the game and playing on the counter-attack. And I disagree with this completely. I thought Arsenal were poor today. And people that are saying, oh, yeah, we play to our strengths. No, you have players that can control the ball, like Odegaard, Saka, like even Thomas Partey, Saliba and Gabriel should be able to handle the defense on their own. I've seen many, many big teams go down and they just don't surrender control. And they are at home as well. So for me, Arsenal play poorly today. That's my opinion on it.
This here says also how are subjective rules being applied so objectively? All such rules are written with the clause if the official deem fit. So it's not like the ref doesn't have an option if he chooses it. That's a really good point. So again, this is where football fans need more clarity. So what you will see if you watched this afternoon's games, I've already kicked off. If you watch tonight's game, you will see this happen at least in just one match 10 times. A free kick gets given, and the opponent on the team that can see the free kick will stand in front of it so it can't be taken quickly.
And I know they're now going on Twitter and actually...
Sorry. So what I need is when Michael Owen sits on Sky talking to the ref is for to be talking to Howard Webb. So why isn't that a yellow? And not just for him to go, well, because it ruined the game. Why is that little flick of a kick given? Why is this? We need as football, again, transparency and understanding stops the accusations. So we need to understand why. And that's all football fans want is why is it not being applied more evenly and fairly, I think. Sorry, Souls, you were going to say something, brother.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I think the only way that this changes or the perception of referee changes is if decision like this, like controversial decisions on the weekend happen, the referee of that game comes out even at the end of the game and actually explains the decision and the process of making that decision. Alternatively to that, we actually hear the audio. Because one of the things that we're not getting is any clarity on why that decision was made. And I understand, look, there is a thought process to why his perception of the rule was applied in the situation, but we need to hear the reasons. And I feel like that's when we can then go, okay, do you know what? He made an honest mistake, or he applied the rules in this way, so we understand how these rules are being applied.
But also, hold on, the reason why I probably disagree with that is because them explaining why they're wrong doesn't make anything better. I think it should be
no, but we at least understand the decision making.
Yeah,
and if that decision making is consistent, or if there's a glaring hole, but I also think that gives the PGMOL an understanding of, okay, where the rules or where the application of the rules need to change.
But the issue is that there's no punishment in any white line of work. If I mess up at work, there's some sort of repercussions, right? You can't continue to have fuck ups.
Depends on the mistake, but yes.
Right. That's what, like, we saw what happened in Newcastle, right? When Joelinton clotheslined, and nothing happened. So these are the kind of incompetence we see week in, week out in the Premier League.
No, I agree.
But Nathan, that's your perception. He made a mistake, but according to the rules, he hasn't made a mistake.
Thank you, Souls. Nathan is assuming that they made a mistake and they made a mistake. From their point of view, even if they explain it, I don't think they made a mistake. And otherwise, they will issue an apology like what they did last season for Minigame.
Yeah, and I think that's what. Yeah, I think the audio is important because what it does, it enables us to. I talk about this all the time on the terrace. I do care about what you all think, but what's more intriguing to me is why you think it. And I think understanding the why behind the what is really key. Fed up with these Arsenal fans twerking for the refs. How the F are you blaming Rice? The ball is rolling. It's not a foul. It's not a howler from the ref. I can't believe it's rolling. It's a howler from the ref. I can't believe you lot. Souls, where is your energy for Trossard being absolutely rubbish? Instead, you berate, you rattle on about Rice. Please answer that. You got your wish.
Who's the guy last week who said Trossard isn't the answer to start? Me. So I don't know where this super chat's coming from. I've been saying it for a very long time. Trossard, okay, let me make it clear for everyone. Trossard, impact player. Starter, crap. That's as simple as I can put it. If your dumb brain can't get that, I can't help you.
Partey needs better decision-making and better pass selection. Stop being predictable, not Saka all the time. We need more play switches like Ben did. I love how when Liverpool went down to 10 men last season, the narrative was it's harder to win against 10 men. Now it's we still didn't lose with 10 men.
Nah.
Sorry, maybe I misread that. Last season it's harder to win against 10 men, and now it's we still didn't lose with 10 men. Yeah,
what game is this referring to though? Is it the Spurs game?
Yeah, I mean,
that's
exactly. Because didn't that game end 2-2 or something?
They must be talking about that game. Yeah, I mean, Liverpool did really, really well and defended well. They did well in that game. I mean, it's sometimes harder, definitely. Unpopular opinion: Saliba was at fault for the goal. He should have shouldn't have gotten dragged out of position, causing the huge hole in the center of defense.
I think there's an over-exaggeration here because the reality is we are a man down. We have to also be objective here. And the three-back had to stretch out until Calafiori came on. And that's when we switched into a five-back to compact the size that we had. So it's a bit over-exaggerated.
Why forget the chances and poor finishing? Arsenal have a problem. I mean, there was look. I didn't think Saka's chance was a bad miss. I actually thought the cross was slightly overhit from. It was just slightly ahead of him. But I do think Kai Havertz should be taking his one-on-one chance. That is absolutely fair, Joe. I do think they had that one opportunity. He should be taking that. And you said something earlier, Jason. Is this where you look at it and think, this is where we should have signed Osimhen or Gyökeres? This is where a top-class number 9 wins you the game today, irrespective of the Rice situation?
Bro, I'm telling you, yeah, this is what I've been saying about this for 20 years and above. These ownership doesn't have no ambition whatsoever. I'm telling you, when we need a striker, we need a striker, we get a defensive midfielder. When we needed a defensive midfielder, we need a strike. It doesn't make sense. Like, honestly, it doesn't make sense. We 100% needed a striker. There was also short in attack as well. I think a player like Ivan Toney or Victor Osimhen would have buried those chances away any sort of 99 out of 100 times. Like, would have been at the back of the net. And these type of games where it's kind of like, close knitted, we need a Victor Gyökeres or another striker to, to get out of this mess. And you know what? We're making the same mistake. And it's one of those things where, yeah, maybe another title will be gone. Am I being a reactionary? No. It's just basically, I've just seen it time and time again. And like, you know what? It's not good enough.
Jason, you don't think that with one man down, that striker could have been the person that got hooked because you'd want to defend what you have, right? You don't think that the red card could have changed exactly how you subbed your player. So hold on. So that means that striker doesn't get the chance because at the end of the day, right, you have to be, as a manager, you have to be pragmatic about what you're going to do when you're one man down. You have to think
so you
about
think if Man City go down and Haaland is there, he's the one taking off?
No, I'm not saying. Listen,
no.
I am not Man City. There's very few Haalands in the world. You cannot mention 3 Haalands in the world of football right now. So if you keep using Haaland as an example, he's the exception when it comes to being a striker. That's a man who can score 40, 50 goals a season. Not many players can do that. So you don't hook a player like that. That's a unique profile. So when you keep using Haaland, it doesn't work. We're talking about a different team here. Well, Arsenal. The way we play is not how Man City play, right?
But if we had someone like Victor Osimhen, right, in up front.
I agree with you. I agree with you that Victor Osimhen will take those chances. Right? Don't get me wrong. I'm saying in lieu that there's a red card and things change, right? So for example, there was a red card. Odegaard got knocked when he went down, and as soon as
why are we being pragmatic at home? This is against Brighton.
But Darren, historically, even if we'd signed a top centre forward who is of a certain caliber, the best forwards always remain. When you look at all the big teams, when they go down to 10 men,
I hear you.
They let go of a lesser player, right? The weakest player from the front line would get sacrificed. So why are you now?
Just because I don't want to go into the time, I went and looked at when Rodri got sent off last year at 46 minutes. They took off Doku for Calvin Phillips like 5 minutes later. So that's who was sacrificed from the attack of Manchester.
And Doku's potent. Doku's potent, but they bring in a Calvin Phillips.
But having said that, what they then did, but this is where it's interesting. What they then did though, but they were already 2-0 up. But then what they did 4 minutes later is they brought on they then took off Julian Alvarez for Nathan Ake as well. And so they took off both of those two, but Haaland did stay on the
and that's why I said Haaland is a unique player in his own right. Like I wouldn't take off a Haaland if he's on my team. But I'm saying in other teams, Victor Osimhen is no Haaland. Let's get it. Let's be realistic about it. He's a top striker, but he's no Haaland. So there's no striker that is Haaland.
Dan here says Arsenal could lose by 5 points and 5 goals, I think he means, but Dyer would still be calling people out for being negative and don't say he didn't. He did.